All right, good Saturday afternoon, everyone. I wanted to do a quick YouTube and Facebook Live with you guys. Just going over a few things. Short term here. Here's the system coming in. The impact the watches and warning map here for this weekend. We have winter storm warnings ongoing across southeastern Colorado into western Kansas. Winter weather advisories up through Missouri, northern Missouri into Kansas. Along the Appalachians here is winter weather advisory going up towards Pennsylvania as well. The winter storm watch is up here towards Maine. Now, let's take a look at the short range models to see what's going on. All right, first let's go to the water vapor so we can actually see where the system's at today. This was yesterday at noon. Here's the system coming in, and another piece of energy trying to dig in with it, coming through for this weekend. And then, as you can see, it's really starting to ramp up through Colorado, and then it starts ejecting out, creating a pretty significant amount of snow out here towards the southeastern Colorado into Kansas, and that's going to track east and give northern Missouri, southern Iowa maybe a few inches of snow. And then this gets out of here. Now, everybody focuses on this main system here, but there's another piece of energy right through here that's going to be rounding this low pressure and then coming east, and that's going to deliver and basically transfer some energy off of here, and then create some snows. Basically in through this neck of the woods tonight into tomorrow. Okay. All right, and then we'll get on Tuesday system here in just a second. One more thing, drop a comment in the comment section. Tell me where you're from. Push the thumbs up or like on this post, and share this with your family and friends. It helps with algorithms through YouTube and Facebook as well. Okay, so I appreciate that. Now, let's go and look at the surface map. Here we go. We got rain basically going down here in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Like I said, piece of energy down here, energy up here. So it's going to really start ramping up. The snow's through. The snow starting to break out here in southeastern Missouri. This is late tonight. Nice little snow band, basically from northeastern parts of Kansas through far northern Missouri into southern and southeastern Iowa for tonight as well. And then this energy comes in. That energy I circled comes in tomorrow across Missouri and northern Arkansas. Another piece of energy just ejects out towards the Ohio Valley as well. And this is where you can get some of that rain mix of snow in southern Missouri and northern Arkansas tomorrow morning. Maybe a dusting. There's a few heavier bands that come up or show up, you might get more than that, and I'll show you my accumulation map here in just a second. All right, so then we go forward here. You can see this. The energy's really picking up steam here. Here comes the another little piece of energy, like I said, rounding the base here. So snow picking up across the Ohio Valley, northern Kentucky into Ohio tomorrow afternoon. And then this thing rockets up towards northeast. Lots of rain east of the mountains here in the Carolinas and Virginia. And then here comes the next storm system digging, and here it is down here into the southwest. This is going to be our impactful system that comes in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Now I'm going to show you snowfall accumulations for this weekend. Alrighty, here's the snow totals through Monday morning. like big dumping of snow out here in southeastern parts of Colorado into western Kansas, 4 to 8 inches, maybe even more. Darker blue, 2 to 4, maybe a little bit more, especially get banding set up. And then it gets a lighter shade of blue here through basically Wichita, Topeka, over towards Kansas City, St. Louis, southern parts of Iowa, northern Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana. I think dusting to an inch. There, like I said, when those bands set up, you will get more than an inch. It's just where that happens. I think maybe be more likely up here in northern Missouri, southern Iowa, maybe into central and northern Illinois as well. I think that would be the prime area to get maybe 1 or 2 inches of snow. But other than that, there's going to be some areas to get a dusting. There may be a town 20, 25 miles away from you that gets a half an inch. So a lot of fine-tuned details there. Now, south of this blue, this light blue, I put maybe a dusting. I still think you may see some flakes fly late tonight, early tomorrow morning, through basically the Ozarks and then up through maybe southeastern Missouri into basically following the Ohio River. There has been signals of there being a little bit more accumulation, especially as you get just east of the Mississippi River here, Missouri, Illinois, and then following the river up towards Ohio. Maybe get a little bit more than that, maybe up to an inch, like I said, but this is just basically the appetizer before the big time storm that's coming midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, let's dig into that real quick. I want to get this done before football comes on. I think it comes on in about an hour or so. So, speaking of that, around Kansas City, you'll probably see some rain mixed with snow. Have some snowflakes fly at the game. So, be an interesting game for sure. So, something to watch there. All right, remember what I said? We're going to go back to the water vapor here. Remember what I said about sampling the system? Okay, so let's go all the way back here. So there's a main, this is just off the screen here, but there's a big storm system diving up into Alaska. Well, there's another piece of energy digging down behind it, and this is coming into the Pacific Northwest around Washington or so. You can see it here. I'll circle it here. It's actually coming on shore right now. You can see it start winding up here. Here is our Tuesday, Wednesday energy that's going to start digging down into the southwestern part of the United States. So there's our energy. It's going to start getting sampled this evening, or this afternoon and this evening. So 00Z models should have this information. I'm more curious of what the 6 and 12Z models do tomorrow to get a real grasp on where this track will be. Okay, so that is there. So you can see the system coming on shore. We're gonna get a sample on it. That thing's gonna start digging down to the southwestern part of the United States. Let's show you one more thing here. All right, I want to show you vorticities. This is a GFS, by the way. So you see where the system is coming through this weekend, and here comes the system in. That's could be a very impactful system for Tuesday or Monday. Basically, Monday starting in the west, western part of our forecast area towards New Mexico, Texas. That's going to be tracking east as we go into Tuesday, and then Wednesday starting to shift northeast across the area. Okay, so here's this weekend system. This thing gets out of here. Now look, see what I was saying earlier about this piece of energy here diving down behind this system here, okay? So you see this thing digging down behind this, all right? So that's going to deliver some snows, rain mixed with snow possibly across southern Missouri, northern Arkansas tomorrow. Like I said, we already have some big time accumulating snows out here in Kansas, and then going maybe a couple inches or so running towards central Illinois. This thing really wraps up, and then it's going to deliver some probably some better chances of accumulating snow down through the Ohio Valley, up through Ohio, and then up towards the Northeast. And then here comes this system. Look at this thing. So here it is. This is 9 o'clock tonight. So it's fully going to get sampled this evening by the upper air networks. And then this thing, look at this thing, just keeps digging and digging and digging. Man, this thing is very strong. Look at this. This is a lot of energy, okay? A ton of energy. Like I've said, okay, so the temperatures at the surface are going to be marginally cold. So that means we're going to be probably anywhere across the area where the system's going to go. We're especially north and northwest of this system. That's why I said track is key. Temperatures are going to be probably ending up right around maybe 29 to 32, 33 degrees. So it's going to be a heavy wet snow. The ratios, the normal ratios are about 10 to 1 that's at 32 degrees. Okay, usually that's a normal ratio, and this is going to be a heavy, just moisture-rich snow. That's probably going to be like a 7 to 8 to 1 ratio, which means a normal ratio, 10 to 1, you need 10 inches of snow to equal 1 inch of liquid equivalent. Okay, so now that we're going to be borderline temperatures, 33, 32, 34 possibly, down to 30 maybe, we're looking at an 8 to 7 to 1, 8 to 1. If you get below freezing, possibly up to a 10 to 1. But if this is impactful, this is an impactful snow and it accumulates in your driveway, you need to be very careful shoveling, okay? Because this stuff is going to be so heavy, and they call this basically a heart attack snow. Get out there and start shoveling. Just really start exerting yourself, and could cause problems. Could cause some problems for you, okay? So just be very careful with that, because I think some parts of the area gets quite a bit of snow for the south. I know we've seen some pictures up here towards the Northeast along the snow belts, getting feet and feet of snow. But I think this is going to be an impactful event. It's just, like I've said, winter storm is coming. Okay, so we just have to figure out who gets the worst of it. All right, and I really do think, elevation-wise, especially in Arkansas, maybe southeastern parts of Oklahoma, into the Ozarks and Missouri as well. They're going to see probably the most impactful parts of the storm because of elevation, because they'll be able to dynamically cool from the top down faster because of elevation than you are at the lower elevations of, let's say, eastern Arkansas, central Arkansas, and so on. All right, and I'm going to show you some impact maps here in just a second. So let me get back. Sorry, I got off on a little tangent there, but lots of energy digging here. This is going to be a major system, of course, and the track is so key on where the impactful snow is going to be, because it could be a very, very sharp cutoff of snow. Like I said, I think I said in a comment this morning, there's going to be some counties, like maybe the eastern part of the county, may not get anything. And you go to the western part of the county, they might have 4 or 5 inches of snow. So it's going to be that close or that sharp of a cutoff from either dealing with a cold rain, maybe some mixed, to some heavy snow. 30 to 40 mile difference in track is going to be very key on who gets the heaviest snow here, okay? All right, so see how it keeps digging, then all of a sudden, boom, it wants to start. Okay, so here we go. We got a kicker coming down through. It's going to want to kick this system out, so it's ejecting it, all right? So it keeps going east, east. Look at all. I mean, tons. Let me zoom down here so you guys can see this better. Tons and tons of energy right here. And then we need to watch, of course, on the backside of the system, because you're gonna have some energy spike around as well, which may squeeze out some more snow for parts of the area. All right. So with this is a major energy coming through. So like I said, the track is key. So if you get this energy, this major energy, lots of lift, you're going to have a significant dynamic cooling, and it's going to bring that cold air above our heads down to the surface, which will help get accumulations faster. Okay. All right. So here we go. This thing gets out of here. Now, look at all this energy left behind out here in the west, down in Texas and stuff. This is on Wednesday. And then we got a little bit more energy coming through as well. So I think some of this energy that comes through after the event across probably Missouri, Arkansas, maybe into Illinois, backside of this low into Kentucky, possibly Tennessee, you could get some flurries or light snow out of this all the way down. I mean, with this major bits and pieces of energy following this system. All right. So that thing gets out of here. You have another little, like I said, you got another vorticity basically coming through on Thursday, Friday across Missouri, then another one coming through. Probably get some more snows up here towards Iowa and Illinois towards the end of the week. All right, so here's the big bowling ball of, here's a big bowling ball basically this weekend. And then here we go. This thing rolls out tons and tons of energy with this. Like I said, track is so key. So let's take a look at that real quick. So here we go. Here's the weekend storm. Like I said, you can see where that energy I circled earlier on the water vapor. Look at this. I mean, you got snow across southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. That's what I was talking about. Okay. And you got snow basically ramping up through southeast of Missouri, basically hugging the Ohio River, going up towards southern Indiana, Ohio. And then this thing gets out of here, and then here comes the impactful system, snow breaking out western Texas into Oklahoma. And like I said, this is just one model run. There's going to be a few changes, but the track is starting to narrow down. All right, but it's this one. The GFS has come a lot more south and east with time. So here we go. Look at this heavy snow. We could get some thunder snow. These remind also this, like I said, it's going to be a very heavy, wet snow. As the snow is falling, they're going to stick to other flakes. We're going to have $50 or larger size snowflakes with this system. Okay, so it's going to be a real pretty snow. For a lot of us, for a lot of y'all out here in Oklahoma, Texas, out into Arkansas, into southern Missouri, okay? It's going to stick to everything. Okay? So this thing gets up and gets out of here. I don't buy it at the moment, changing it straight to snow here across northern, Oklahoma and Arkansas right off the bat. You're going to have to cool down the lower levels first. So this may start out as a cold rain or some sleet before it switches over, before we get this big energy comes through and you get some dynamic cooling and throws that temperature down to the surface of 33, 32, 31. Now you might see some snow out there you might see some snow falling when it's 34 degrees out there. If it comes down heavy enough, you will still get accumulation at 34 degrees. I mean, it's happened before, okay? It's happened numerous times in the past. Okay, so here's this thing. Here's this thing. Keep on going, basically get out of here. You can see this backside of this system. Let me go to the east here. See the backside of the system in Kentucky into Tennessee. You can see the backlash snows here. This is into Thursday. Late Wednesday night into Thursday. Okay. And then Go back to central. You can see where these little bits and pieces of energy are in the west. I think some of this is underdone. So you may still get some flurries, light snow coming through Thursday or Wednesday night, Thursday across the same areas that got some impactful snows. And then here's that next system I told you late week that's coming down. Okay. All right. So how much snow are we talking? I'm just gonna, like I said, this is one model run. This is not a forecast. The GFS. The problem with the GFS is, okay, when you look at snow maps like this, here, let's just pull it up. All right, so we got this today. I think short term, I think this did a very good job. I think it did a really good job at this up in Kansas, getting into northern Missouri. I think that's doing a good job. Now, as this new system comes out of Texas into Oklahoma, Arkansas, this thing really blows it up. This thing blows it up. And of course, like I said, elevations are going to be key. And that's why it's painting a lot more snow across northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. All right? Because higher elevations, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 feet or higher of that, it's going to get colder faster there than it will at the lower elevations. Okay? But it's thinking it's going to snow the whole time, all right, and accumulate that quick, all right. I'm not discounting this, but you need to look at one map that shows that factors in compaction, some melting, etc. Okay, so that's when we look at snow depth changes. Actually, let's say it's either positive snow depth change or snow depth. So let's take a look at snow depth. All right. So let's go to positive snow depth change. I think that was the map. All right. So this is what it thinks how much will be on the ground with compaction and some melting. Okay. So like I said, all the way through central Arkansas, you got a chance of a little dusting accumulation down through just north of Dallas, and then up towards Amarillo, 2-3 inches. And then look, like I said, elevation is going to be key to get the heavier snows and accumulations faster. And I can zoom in here for those of y'all that live in Arkansas and surroundings. See where that heavier snow ends up. This is like I said, this is positive snow depth change. This it counts for compaction and melting. Okay, I like to use this because we're going to be borderline temperatures of between 28 to 32 to 33 degrees. Okay, as you can see, just west of Little Rock and the hills just west of Little Rock, you can see where it's painting a little bit more accumulations there because of the elevation. All right. You get towards Little Rock, you may not get anything. You might see some flakes fly, but you might not barely get a dusting, maybe. Okay. So I think the more impactful snows through this event. Let me just change this real quick to South Central. Okay, so I think the most impactful snows will be basically from northern Texas through central and eastern Oklahoma. Then you go through the Ouachitas. Sorry, hopefully I'm saying that right. Ouachita Mountains here through western Arkansas. You can see, I believe that's Pinnacle Mountain. I want to say just west of Little Rock. You're going to get some snow there. And then, so I'm going to circle this. So I think the most impactful snows are going to be through here. And you see where that river valley is. Okay, so they're going to be lower elevations. While I think it still snows there, I don't think you're going to get as much snow as parts of the Ozarks where all these hills and elevation are. So if we follow the GFS, the higher terrain of the Ouachitas through southern or eastern Oklahoma through western Arkansas. Then you get up towards the Ozarks. There's going to be more impactful snows. 4, 6 inches, maybe even 8 inches possible, according to this snow depth change. Okay. Now, this is like I told you. You go to like a 10-to-1 ratio, which we won't be a 10-to-1 ratio, and this is what you end up with because the GFS thinks it's going to snow faster and accumulate as soon as it hits the ground, and that's not going to be the case. All right. Now, could this blow my mind and all of a sudden this happens? I mean, it could. I mean, only God knows the future. Okay, but this likely scenario is basically, I don't think this is going to happen this way. Okay, that's why you need to look at the snow depth when you have borderline temperatures. All right, so there we are basically. Let me go to the east here so you can look at that as well. And then here's the system here. Let me back this up. So here's a system coming through this weekend. Like you can see, maybe if you get banding, you get an inch or so, maybe less. Dusting across northern Arkansas and Missouri. You get into Kentucky, maybe a dusting out this way. This is backlash snows on Monday, and I don't have that accounted in my accumulation map, but along the Appalachians, the higher elevations, 1 to 2 inches. Get up here towards West Virginia, same way. Then you get up towards Ohio, mid Ohio, and up towards Pennsylvania. That's when you start ramping up the snows to 2 to 4 inches up here. Now you get up down this way. You see the backlash snows coming down into Tennessee on Thursday, and that's where I think you'll be able to get some snow. Now, another thing we need to go over is the severe weather side. All right, this is the severe weather outlook for Tuesday, the 24th, southeastern Louisiana into southern Mississippi, into basically southern half of Alabama, into the panhandle of Florida. Severe thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms with damaging wind gusts, perhaps some tornadoes, and maybe some large hail as well. So all modes are possible on Tuesday. I want to keep you aware of this because there is a warm side to the storm as well. Okay, so we need to be on our guard on that as well. I know everybody's excited about where the snow is going, but we need to focus on severe weather. We've had a lot of it lately, and this storm is going to deal another blow for more severe weather across this area. I want to show you this. This is the winter storm severity index of an impactful winter storm. So I'm going over minor impacts. This means maybe some slushy roads, so on. It's going to minorly affect you. Okay, minorly affect you. Okay, so pretty good likelihood across Texas here. And then as we go forward, you can see as it's transitioning through Oklahoma, northern parts of Texas, then really ramping up through Missouri, Arkansas, basically the northwestern half of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then you can see where it has some tiny chances of small impacts, even across eastern Arkansas and central Arkansas. And then same through Kentucky. But the bigger impacts are going to be across northern Texas through Oklahoma, northern half or northwestern half of Arkansas, especially across the higher terrain in the mountains, Ozark Mountains in Missouri as well, especially Ozark Plateau as well, through southern Missouri, and then up towards St. Louis and through southern Illinois into Indiana. Okay, and then this thing transitions out through Indiana into Ohio. Okay, so these are minor impacts. Now let's look at moderate impacts. Okay. So we go through Oklahoma. You got yellow to red here. Let me try to pin this. So here's the likelihood of impacts for moderate impacts across the area. Okay, see where the higher terrain is of western Arkansas, southeastern parts of Oklahoma, through most Oklahoma, 40 to 50% chance of moderate impacts. You get up towards Ozarks of Arkansas into Missouri, you're 60 to 80% likelihood of moderate impacts. And then this thing just really ramps up and gets out of here. You still have a chance of moderate impacts all the way up towards Ohio. Okay, so less impacts up there. It looks like a 20 to 30% chance of moderate impacts, but still impactful. Another thing, I know people have been asking, oh, is there going to be a winter storm watch issued or a warning? That's basically up to your National Weather Service. But here is one of their maps they go off of to make a decision or a part of a decision on issuing watches or warnings. Okay, so this is the probability of exceeding winter storm warning criteria, which is especially up here in northern Arkansas, and the Tulsa office is 4 inches of snow or greater to hit a warning criteria, to winter storm warning criteria. And you look, let me remind you, we are still 4 days away from this event. So red up here, 50 to 80%. We have some purple in here in the higher terrain of Arkansas as well. So with it being 50 to 80%, and then some blotches of 80% in there, is pretty concerning 4 days out already. Okay, and then you get through Oklahoma, parts of Texas, yellow to red, basically a 30 to 50 for yellow, and then 50 to 80% chance of exceeding warning criteria out there. Okay, so this only goes out to day 4. That's why it's not covering up here towards Ohio. But this gives you another piece of the puzzle of where we might get some winter storm watches and warnings at. Okay? All right, so here's my latest. All right, so the light blue areas, accumulations are very uncertain in that area. While I think you may see some snow flying, it's just the accumulations at this point for me are a question mark in the yellow, or no, I'm sorry, the light blue. You get in the darker blue, I think you have a better chance of accumulations. There still is some question marks of how much and how impactful it will be. Okay, so but I think if you get up here in the elevations of southern Missouri, Arkansas, western Arkansas through eastern Oklahoma, I think the accumulations, I am pretty certain, my confidence is pretty high in those areas of accumulations that are going to be likely. Okay, it's too early to talk about snow amounts because a lot can change, and there's going to be like I said, it's going to be a very sharp cutoff in snowfall. Okay, very sharp cutoff. So this is my thinking at the moment. My forecast confidence. This is basically a forecast or a confidence map showing you what my thinking is at the moment. It's still in a moderate category of my confidence because track is key, and it's going to be very critical. That track's going to be very, very critical of where the impacts, the more impactful snows will be. Okay. All right. I'll need to get off here before you guys get into the game here. So I don't remember if it starts at 3:30 or 4, but I'm going to run off here real quick. Thank you all for joining. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up, like button, share this with your family and friends. And I will have probably another update this evening or tomorrow morning with new data. Like I said, this system is getting sampled this afternoon and this evening. So we'll get that data into the models, and hopefully we can pin down a track for you. But models are all in agreement that a winter storm is coming. We just got to figure out who gets the worst of it. Have a great afternoon.